Hey friends, what's up? How's it going? Ash here. Welcome back to Extra Gents Scents. Time to take a look at the final new release in the new bunch of Club de Nuit releases. Yeah, I could have said that smoother. Of course, I'm talking about Club de Nuit Imperiale. I've already reviewed Club de Nuit Iconic, Urban Man Elixir, and Untold on the main channel, and this guy right here gets relegated to the extra channel. Sorry, bud. So the reason that I'm featuring this last and featuring it on the extra channel is I figure probably more people, at least from my subscriber base, would be interested in the other three, and that's because this one is a clone of fragrance for the ladies. And that fragrance is this one, Parfums de Marly Delina. Look, it's got little tassels. So in today's video, as always, I will be showing you guys the presentation. I'll let you know how it smells, how it differs from the Parfums de Marly, and whether or not you should check it out. So let's go ahead and jump into it and tackle this fourth and final Club de Nuit for now until they release more in the future. So this one I got from fragrancebuy.ca. I'll have it linked in the description in case you want to check it out. It's gonna run you right at about $51 US as of this video. So as far as clone fragrances go, not really cheap. Let's go ahead and check out that presentation first, and then we'll move on to the smell. So here we have the front of the box. You have the name of the fragrance, you get the size, the concentration, 105 ml size, eau de parfum concentration, a little bit of a different sizing that they use for these bottles. It says Armaf up top. On one side, it says Club de Nuit. On the other, you have your sticker of authenticity. On the back, you have your ingredient information. And on the bottom, your badge code and barcode. It says that my bottle was produced 11/20/22. And here we have the bottle. I actually like this look. It's kind of a pearlescent paint color to it. You have that Armaf medallion hanging down with the little crystal there, the name of the fragrance. You've got the size and concentration once again. Kind of a flat coloration to the gold, so it doesn't have a sparkle to it or anything. On one side of the bottle says Club de Nuit, and then on the bottom your badge code and your ingredient sticker. As always, let's blast a couple sprays out of this thing, see how it works. So as I said before, this is a clone of Parfums de Marly's Delina. The other fragrances were clones of like Sauvage, essentially, kind of a Bleu de Chanel vibe, and Baccarat Rouge 540. So basically, you could view this as like two kind of for the ladies if you include the BR 540 clone with the ladies, and then two for the men. And overall, like, these are all really solid clones, which I guess you would expect because the price point is up a little bit from what your more typical clone is priced at, but they've done a great job. None of these fragrances of the new Club de Nuit line have an off-putting opening, so they've thankfully moved away from that, where you don't get hit with this blast of archaic death. And by that I mean just like alcohol smell or chemicals. And this fragrance, thankfully, carries on with that trend. It smells really good right from the get-go. You don't have to say, oh, it's good once you let it dry down. Like, you don't have any of that going on with this one. But I will say that out of all four of the new Club de Nuit fragrances, that this one is the furthest away from the fragrance that it's cloning. It has noticeable differences right away, and it stays that way the whole way through. So into the mid, into the dry down, this is noticeably different to this. That being said, can you tell that this is a clone of this? Yeah, you can. So, Delina, when you first spray that one on, you get this bright, fresh, juicy, sparkling fruit. Lychee and rhubarb right there off the top. Like I said, it's like effervescent, it's sparkly, it's decidedly very feminine, but it smells very appealing and you get it instantly. You don't get that with this. Do you have lychee in here? Sure, a little bit, but not even close to how it comes across in Delina. Instead, the new Club de Nuit is based more around vanilla. So you get this vanilla, slightly powdery, sweet, mellow in Club de Nuit Imperiale that you get pretty much right away. And that vanilla is much more pronounced to me in the Armaf than it is the Parfums de Marly. As it dries down, the Armaf becomes almost like a pillowy vanilla that sits over top the rose, that sits over top that lychee until it fades away. Is there a little muskiness in there? Yeah, some clean white musk. You've got like a slight little bit of warmth from resins. But with Delina, the vanilla stays underneath everything. It stays locked in there. It doesn't try to overtake them. So what happens is as it dries down, that rose comes out. And instead of being like a soft powdery rose like you'll get in the Armaf, instead it's kind of a full faceted rose. It's very fresh. It's a little bit green. It feels like it's been misted with water. The musk is also very vibrant, and that's the difference here. Delina, while it is sweet, and while it does have that vanilla and does have a little warmth as it dries down, it also has this vibrance to it. So it's sparkly, it's jumpy, it's effervescent, it's zingy. The rose is fresh and a little powdery, but it's like these facets working in tandem. As I said, it's full faceted, whereas the Armaf is more centered around a soft and welcoming vanilla, which does smell good, but that kind of vanillic overtone just overrides everything else. So essentially it's like Delina, if you took that sparkle and dialed it way down, you took that freshness, you dialed that down, you took the vanilla, you ramped it way up and made it kind of, as I said, a soft, powdery, pillowy vanilla, but kept the overall idea behind the fragrance pretty much the same. So as I said, can you tell that it's a Delina clone? Yeah, you can. But can you tell that it's different than Delina? Yeah, pretty easily. With some clones that I've smelled lately, if you were blindfolded and you didn't know what was where, you could have somebody say, okay, smell this, smell this, smell this, smell this. And it could start to be difficult to tell, well, which one is the real one. With this, no, you could tell pretty much every time, as long as you've smelled both of these before. Now, that being said, I don't think that this smells bad. It smells really good. And actually, this is a little more masculine leaning than Delina, which honestly is not hard to do. This is a very feminine fragrance in case you couldn't tell by the bottle. But this does lean a little bit more toward the unisex side of things. Do I think it still leans feminine? Yes, absolutely. But between the two, this is the one that's closer to being a unisex fragrance because it's not as heavy with those feminine notes that Delina is. So you could almost call this like a unisex version of Delina or something like that. And in terms of performance, this is a very good one. Above average as far as longevity goes, above average as far as projection goes. It has good versatility. I think you could wear this during the fall, during the winter, during the spring, during the summer. I would go for something else. And as far as daytime or nighttime use goes, for me, it leans actually a little bit more toward daytime use, though it would work well during the evening as well. So this is one of those fragrance clones that I would say is not a one-to-one clone, but is more a fragrance done with a twist. So you're taking an established fragrance DNA that's very popular, you're changing things a bit and putting a spin on it and trying to turn it into your own thing while still hearkening very closely back to the fragrance you were inspired by. That's what's going on here. I know that on Fragrance Spy's website, it says this is for man/woman, so obviously it's being presented as a unisex fragrance. And as I said before, I think that really is the best way to approach this. It's a Delina fragrance that's trying to be unisex, even though it still does have a lean toward the feminine side, that has ramped up vanilla and has kind of tamped down on the more feminine aspects of Delina. And the only potential drawback here is going to be the price point. Once again, as I said with the other fragrances that came out, you know, in that $51 price range, pretty pricey for clones. But at least you're getting what you pay for here. The quality is good. It doesn't have any off-putting notes. It doesn't have a chemically feel to it. It has good performance. The bottle looks nice. As I said, the pearlescent look here, very clean. So yeah, I really can't fault it. I like it. I've worn this probably 5 times now, and I think it's a solid release. So that's gonna do it for me, guys. I'm gonna head out of here. If you've smelled this one, let me know what you think about it. If you smelled all 4 of the new ones, let me know which one you think is superior, which is the best. I think that Untold is actually the most popular as of right now out of the 4 new ones. Thank you all for hanging with me. I'll see you again another day with another video. I'll see you later. So in today's video,